Okay, so we are talking about the three dimensions that it's referred to by Mentzberg's managerial roles. Okay, he puts it in three big categories: informational roles, decisional roles, and interpersonal roles. And in the interpersonal role, he says that the manager is the figurehead. Okay, so the figurehead means that, when whoever comes to the company, you are the first that they have to call on, or you are the head of the place. And though, so you are the leader also and the liaison. Maybe let's look at that from here. Interpersonal, yes. So you perform ceremonial and symbolic duties. So you receive visitors, okay, and things like that. So if dignitaries come to the company, they would want to see the head of the organization. The leader, you direct and motivate subordinates. You train and advise and influence. Okay, so the leadership role that I have been talking about since. You provide direction, you provide motivation, you provide some training. Okay, so if you are interested in my personal life and all that, and when it comes to the core of the matter, you are unable to help me, train me, then it's not the best. You're able to advise and influence people. Influence is the biggest part of leadership. And then liaison, you maintain information links in and beyond the organization. So you take information out and bring information in, all right? The decisional part of the manager is the fact that he's an entrepreneur. So he has to take the decisions. He has to initiate new projects. So you carry the vision of the organization. Spot or opportunities. So you have to look around for opportunities. It doesn't mean that it depends all on you, but you lead that process. So if even someone has has spotted an opportunity, it is you they would run it by, and you will have to decide whether it's something to go by or not. Okay, so identify areas of business development. So you are the one who will champion the development of the organization. Okay, and then disturbance handler, you take corrective action during crisis. So when good things come, it comes through you, and when disturbance or crisis, like I said, chaos comes in, you are the one supposed to make sure that you melt it down because you are paid for that. Resource allocator, so if there's money, if there's cars, and whatever resources that are needed, you are the one leading the allocation of those resources. Okay, you do the negotiation. You represent unit during negotiations. So you negotiate for the maybe allocation of resources to your department or to your unit or whatever. You negotiate for your members, okay? Maybe benefits and allowances and things like that. You need to be able to stand in for them. And the informational part is where you are a monitor, okay? You seek and receive information, you scan reports, you maintain interpersonal contacts. And then you are also the disseminator. You forward information to others, you send memos, you make phone calls. Okay, so you do all this. Doesn't mean that most of the time, yeah, the same person is doing all. Others have assistants who aid them. But at the end of the day, it is your call. You are the one who makes these things happen.
Hello, madam.
Yes, please. Hello, I'm listening. We lost you.
Please, well, this point that you explained,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask, does it really work in most of our workplaces?
That's to do what?
From the decisions and the level.
I'm not hearing you. Or would you want to put it in the chat?
Thereby causing the other one to function properly as everyone. That's what we're experiencing in most of our workplaces.
I'm not hearing you. It's the line keeps breaking. Please say it again. Was it the person whose network is bad?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Yes, not
Hello.
less than 30 minutes. Hello.
I was trying to say, like, hello. So,
Hello. Mm-hmm.
uh,
Oh, the network is not good enough. If you're able to put your question in the chat, I'll appreciate it so that we can move on and finish. So we're moving on to the 4 functions of management, right? So managers often highlight 2 roles missing from Ms. Bink's list. They think that he should have added manager as subordinates and manager as a worker. Okay. Yeah, because he makes it sound like it's one all in one. But we have managers who are like under another manager. So managers were observed in 4 organizations for 2 weeks and recording their behaviors in 4 categories: communicating, traditional management, and networking, and then human resource management. So it was concluded that successful managers spent much more time networking, interacting with outsiders than the less successful. Okay, so if you wanted to be more successful as a manager, you realize that it is those who were socializing or politicking. It's like they find a way to play the politics of it to get people outside because they have to sell their ideas to the outside world. People who are able to create more connections. Okay, connections are key to the success of any organization. And so when people say that people are using connections to go somewhere, that one I don't know. It's not neither here nor there because you have to know someone. If I have a business and I'm looking for someone to put in that position, and there were 2 people available, one that I know very well that I can trust, okay, or my friend's daughter who has completed school. This is someone I know, and you always want to deal with people that you have some knowledge of than just an absolute stranger. That one I'm starting from scratch. So there is that preference, even though okay, your friend will say, "Oh, help my daughter," but you also are trying to help your business because you want somebody that is recommended by another person that you trust. So that's the basis of networking. So effective managers spend most time on communication and human resource management. Definitely, management, like we have said, is a business of people. Okay, so we're dealing with people. If you take away communication, imagine you are working with people and you don't communicate anything to them. okay, whether orally or non-verbally or whatever. There has to be communication. Somebody who doesn't know how to send good mails, somebody who doesn't know how to approach people with information. It's it can ruin your management process. So Wolf and Mosa confirmed the link between networking and career success. Okay, so networking is a lot. So those of us who want to behave like we are gods of in this world, as if we know everything, we don't need people, you will fail in whatever it is. So the rich people you find out there is because they leverage on networking. They network and network and network. So you find them going to social gatherings. And when they go, they make friends. So I, for instance, I don't take meeting people for granted, no matter who you are. You are down there or up there. I recently joined the gym. And when you get to the gym, there are all these young people, and everybody thinks they are themselves. You know how people can behave. Nobody wants to talk to the other. I mean, some way be, and I'm like, hey, I mean, what is it if you say hi, hello? I mean, it's as if when you say hello to a guy, even the lady, your fellow lady, it's as if, I don't know. So with the guys, it's as if when you say hi, you are interested in him or something. And the ladies too, it's like everybody is competing for it's just a mess. But once in a while, I try to talk to I started with the ladies, say hi to them. Oh, where do you work? Are you a student or what? And then I take their numbers. And you don't know what good can come out of that, because I believe that everybody is like reaching out to the world. When you are able to connect to somebody, you're connecting to another part of the world on its own. That's how I see people, and people matter. People matter a lot. I remember I supervised a student, and I realized later that she was an HR to one company. Later on, it is she who took my brother to do an attachment, because she was at the HR at one of the construction companies, and my brother was learning civil engineering. And he went there and did his attachment, and it was a very good experience. Eventually, even my husband was employed by her. She created a place. I mean, even though there was no vacancy, she created one and got him employed. And I was like, for me, this is it. And so let's not take for granted anyone when we meet them, no matter the platform. Okay. So networking is very crucial to your management. So the four functions of management, planning is number one, and it's the formal process whereby managers choose goals or identify actions to attain those goals. So first of all, you set a goal, and then you map out the actions on how to meet those goals. Okay, planning takes place at multiple levels in an organization, and it's an ingrained part of a manager's job. Planning is used by senior managers to develop overall strategies for an organization. Okay, then number two is organizing. That refers to the process of deciding who within an organization will perform what task. Okay, so when they say you are an organizer, it means that you are making sure that this one is doing this and that one, just so that every work will go on well. So it moves abstract plans closer to reality. You decide how to allocate time and effort. You develop policies for the HR management team, and then you decide what equipment people need and how to implement change. So very, very important. Number three, you are also a leader. One third function, you are leading. That's the process of motivating, influencing, and directing others in organization. We've talked a lot about leadership already. So your leading also entails articulating a grand strategic vision for an organization. So leading means leading. You are taking the lead and people are following. So in every aspect, you are leading. In thinking, you think ahead. When people are sleeping, you will spend some time to think. I believe that sleeping is very, very important. Get your 8 hours, but also find time to think about the organization, about the vision, and things that can change it. And then you have the fourth function, which is controlling. Okay, this is the process of monitoring performance against goals. So you have set the goal from planning to leading. Now, what you want to do is to check whether those plans are working. Is it on course? The people you put in place to do this, is it happening? Are you monitoring them and all of that? So types of managers, okay? We have general managers managers responsible for the overall performance of an organization on one of its major self-contained subunits of divisions. Okay, managers responsible for overall performance of an organization or one of its major self-contained subunits or divisions. So that's on top. The functional managers, they lead a particular function. Okay, so usually the general manager will supersede the functions of the functional manager. Okay, so you can talk about them as like the divisions of the organization. So functional, they lead a particular function. They are responsible for a task, activity, or operation. Okay, so such as the HR, the finance, departments like that. Then frontline managers, they manage employees who are themselves not managers. So they are close to the people down there. They don't have any managing role. They are just team members. Okay. So this is a structure for that. So the corporate level is where you call the managers are the CEO, the top people. The business level is the divisions, and then the functional managers, they are the different departments. And then the frontline managers, they are close to the people in the different teams who don't manage anyone. Okay. Skills of management. What skills do you need? You need technical skills. You need some specific, specialized skill. So like accounting, you need maybe your marketing, your procurement, okay? Then you need the human skills. We call them interpersonal and communication skills. A lot of us write it in our CV that we are very good at this. So your ability to coordinate, influence, and motivate people. So it means you are good with human beings, you're good with people. Okay, you can't be a better person and say that me, I have good interpersonal skills. You are not patient, you can't listen to people, you can't solve problems, you cannot resolve conflicts, you are arrogant, you don't know how to speak to people, then you are not good with human beings. You are supposed to live in the moon. Okay, you also need to have conceptual skills. Okay, this is cognitive related. It's more of ideas. You have to understand all aspects of the organization and its interdependence. So you need to know the terrain, understand how it works. Okay, and that is what will qualify you to be a manager. So skills needed at different managerial levels. So at the top level, we need more of your conceptual understanding. So you realize that my vice chancellor, for instance, he based on his experience. So this is someone who has started from down there as a lecturer, became a senior lecturer, became an associate professor, and is now a professor. So he has risen through the ranks, and so he has an understanding of how a university is run, okay, because he's been a departmental head, maybe a dean, and so he's familiar with the terrain. So his understanding of how to manage a university is on top. So he needs more of that. And then he needs to manage people, but it's not so much as a conceptual, because he's not directly managing the people as a vice chancellor. He's managing the top people to manage down. Okay, then he has technical skills, even though in this time, his technical skills is not so much needed. It's the least part necessary. So my VC, for instance, is a specialist in an expert in cocoa, something. So, and he's also one of the top publishers, because in academia you have to publish. So he has published a lot. So he has that experience, just that it is not so relevant here, but we need it there, because whenever he talks and he displays some of these things, we want to be like him, and it's important. Then the middle managers, you need the conceptual. They need all of it in the same levels. If you are looking at a diagram, you can see how it is divided, and you see that conceptual, human, and technical are like the same size. So they need all. Okay, they need to have, because they will go for top management meetings, and they need to be able to represent their units appropriately. They need to be able to manage, because they manage a larger number of people than the VC. Okay, so people like the deans and the directors, they are in the middle managers zone. And then the lower level, like the heads of departments and the heads of units, okay, they need to have not too much of conceptual, because for them, they will go for some of the meetings, the top management meetings, not all, just a few. They would be working more with human, but more they need technical, because they are down there. They need to know who to assign a course to. They need to know how to monitor these lecturers to do their job. But the VC doesn't need that. The dean is supposed to rely on the HOD for these things. So that's how things work there. So the important managerial skills, some of them are here: managing human capital, okay, structuring work and getting things done. That's planning, managing decision-making processes, inspiring commitment, facilitating the psychological and social context of work, okay, people's psychological thinking and social is very important, managing strategy and innovation, managing change, okay, so using purposeful networking, managing logistics and technology. All these are skills that are needed in management. Then we have efficiency and effectiveness in management. Efficiency has to do with resource usage. When we say that you are being efficient, it means that you are using the resources in a very good way. You are managing the resources well. You are being effective is talking about the end goal or the goal attainment. Are you able, after you manage the resources, you get things at good prices and all that? Does it take us to the goal? Okay, so if you're in a construction firm, the goal is to come up with very high quality architectural buildings and so on. After you have gone to bring those, you buy your materials and all of that, maybe at a cheap price, but are you able to give quality to your customers? If no, then you need to relook at it. So management strives for low resource waste. So the emphasis should be on avoiding waste rather than just getting cheap things. Okay. and then high goal attainment. So you want to be efficient and effective at the same time. So there are a lot of changes that are happening these days that managers need to be aware. The focus now is on customer. The focus is also on technology. Social media is taking a lot. People are doing so much on social media. Innovation is very key these days. Okay, and then focus is also on the employee, right? So as a manager, you need to know these. There's also the aspect where changing technology that's being more digital. This is about Baumia's area. Yeah, so we are shifting organizational boundaries and to virtual workplaces. That is why I can sit and teach you from home. First, it was almost impossible to do that. It was going to be seen as a crime for me to say that I'm sitting at home and teaching students. But now it is, and it has helped me a lot as a woman to be able to run my family, take care of my children, and also work at the same time. More mobile workforce, okay, flexible work arrangements, okay. These days, people can vary their work. They can decide that I will do this and be able to work even at night. Okay, empowered employees, empowered employees. Digitization has empowered them. Work-life, personal life balance, like using myself as an example. Social media challenges, because social media these days has given people a lot of power because they have information. This now, whatever you need, just get onto the social media and you get it. And that gives you a lot of power, makes it easy for you to do a lot of things. Increased emphasis on organizational and managerial ethics. So these days, ethics is very, very important because of the technology issues. So you redefine values, rebuilding trust, increase accountability and sustainability. Okay, then increase competitiveness a lot. So even though we are getting more digital and be more careful, we are also, competition is increasing because other people too are having access to these platforms and are making strides. So your competition will be higher. Then changing security threats. Now the threats are more cyber security issues because of growing technology. Okay. People are having more mental health issues also because they're stressing themselves with social media and things. They need that support. Discrimination concerns, diversity is all over. Restructure workplaces. So uncertainty over economic climates, okay, especially in our parts of the world. So I need us to read about administration and management, what you think the difference are, and that we talk in our next class. Right, so any questions or any contributions on what we've talked about? I want to believe that I have recorded this bit, so I will try and upload it maybe on YouTube. I have a YouTube page. Just that it's mostly for lectures like this. So I'll upload this there and then we can, and I'll send the links to you. So you can subscribe to my page also. Also look for me on TikTok and subscribe.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so I'm stopping.